Hi, everyone. I think you're enjoying the content that we're making. This is still so weird for me to pretend like I'm a YouTuber, but I guess I am a YouTuber to some degree. Please subscribe to the Raging Moderates channel. We love having you be part of the community. And I have Kat Timpf here. I think she's on this side. She's smiling. She's so cute.
Hello.
Here's our conversation about the latest episode of South Park. Welcome to Raging Moderates. I'm Jessica Tarlov, and my guest today is my friend and wonderful colleague from Fox News, co-host of Gutfeld, and author of I Used to Like You Until, which I'm featured in, or There's Something About Me. I'm not featured. Kat Timpf is here. Kat, it's so great to have you.
Great to be here.
Awesome. I'm glad we got that out of the way. I want to talk about South Park with you. I've been texting you for like a month about this, that I think that we should do it. It was a crazy episode in like a very meta sense. Twisted Christian was the name. Eric Cartman gets possessed, somehow becomes the key to stopping the Antichrist. There's Peter Thiel situation. We're going to look at a clip. Totally normal day in South Park. Let's take a look at that clip.
All right, everyone, listen up. I've gotten a lot of reports of disruptions in the classroom and some satanic numerology shit going on. So I want to remind you, this is a power Christian school, and I am a power Christian principal, and we will be PC. So now I want you to hear from someone who is the highest authority on biblical prophecies. This person is an absolute expert on the end of days and the coming of the Antichrist. Please welcome Mr. Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel knows about the Antichrist. Peter Thiel knows about the Antichrist.
I'm Peter Thiel and I know about the Antichrist.
Let's learn about the Antichrist today.
Hello kids, I'm Peter Thiel and I'm here to talk to you about the Antichrist. Okay, so first, what is the Antichrist? The Antichrist is a newer, more human form of Satan that will soon walk the earth. We don't know how soon it will walk the earth, but it could be within the next 6 to 7 weeks.
6 to 7!
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do you want to begin?
I mean, I watched this morning and I was like, man, we're not going to have enough time to talk about all the things I have to say.
We
about
do all day on Peter Thiel as the Antichrist.
Well, it's also just the fact that they bring him up when Jesus is standing right there. They're like, no, Jesus doesn't know as much about Christianity as Peter Thiel. And I think that so I'm not religious. Let's just get that out there. I was raised very religious. I have a lot of respect for religious people. I'm jealous of people who are religious in some way because I would love so much to think that I'm not just like an aging bag of bones and blood, that I'm going to keep aging till I'm so disgusting no one wants to have sex with me and then I die.
Cam will always do it with you. That's what I've learned about Cam, actually. That's Kat's
true.
Husband for the Raging Moderates audience.
Yeah. But, and I'm just totally agnostic. I don't know how I can know or anyone can know. But people who are Christians and true believers, I think that's so awesome to have that that belief that there's someone always looking out for you. And then after you die, you get to go to a big party in the sky with all the people you love. I love that. I think that's awesome. But there's this other segment of people that I think it's a performative political thing to say that they're a Christian, but then maybe not so much behave like one.
Yeah, so that's what's stuck out to me right away. I was like, oh, they're dunking on the entire Trump administration for having this like faux Christian sheen about them, like Mike Johnson. I thought the principle that it was parodying Pete Hegseth and the speech that he gave before the generals, but I might be out on a limb with that one.
I didn't think of that at all.
Is that crazy? I don't know. It kind of felt like the Power Christian School and the Power Christian principle, like, because you know?
Yeah, I mean, so I have no idea about that,
Well,
but I mean, like,
no.
But I thought this episode was really interesting because I've been watching all of them and I haven't really been that like dialed into the, can you say butt baby on this show?
We can say whatever we want.
Okay,
it's
right.
YouTube.
Yeah, okay. The Satan and Trump having a butt baby. I was like, I get it. I feel like they're trying to bait Trump into trying to say that South Park should be canceled with like all like going so hard on him, right? I get it. But I was like, okay, guys, like we get it but I thought this episode was really funny because, I have a lot of people in my life who are super Christian who really follow what Christianity is supposed to be in terms of the, loving other people and being nice and being non-judgmental. Some of my closest friends are very, very Christian who I truly never feel judged by those people. But then there are other people who are that, judgmental. I'm a Christian. If you're not a Christian, then you're a bad person and you're disgusting. And I'm going to say all these horrific things about you in the name of that. And I think that because of social media, you and I and everyone, but probably more so you and I than a lot of other people, get to see a lot of that in real time where it's just like, what? Like, what did this person just say? And then you look at their previous tweet and it's like, the most important thing about life is to love one another as Jesus loves the church. And it's like, where is this coming from? Because it's certainly not all Christians, but there is this segment of the population for where this is a very real thing.
Totally. And Pope Leo feels that way as well, right? That he's instructing pastors to not necessarily hold services in person in case someone who's undocumented is going to come, because ICE has said that they'll go anywhere to pick people up. There is a lot of this faux Christianity out there, and they have that in the episode as well, that they're trying to get the Power Christian principle. First of all, got his wife to convert, and now she looks like Caroline Levitt, or this kind of like parody of what a MAGA Republican woman looks like with a big cross and big boobs. But they're trying to get Jesus to date, right? Like that.
Yeah.
And I also, maybe I'm out on another limb, but I thought that the woman that he set up with Jesus was supposed to look like Kimberly Guilfoyle. But it might just be generic brunette MAGA version.
With the big lips and hair and...
Right. But she's in Greece, so it's probably not her. But I totally agree with you. And in that sense, I felt like this episode was about our politics in like a much broader perspective than an episode where it's like, here's Kristi Noem and this is what she's doing, or like, here's Charlie Kirk and this is what he's doing. Like, they were trying to draw attention to this faux Christianity, but also by having Peter Thiel. And another reason why it's perfect to talk to you about this as a libertarian, like the fact that it's not a 5-alarm fire every single day, that Peter Thiel is accessing all of our data, that the government is handing it over to him. And he is, in a certain way, like one of, if not like the most powerful people in the country as a result of the fact that he owns us, essentially.
Yes. So I thought it was actually really great that the reason they were giving, and maybe I'm doing a thing where it's not really about that too, but where the reason they were giving all this data was because of this 6-7 meme.
Yeah.
So it's these kids and it's just a meme and it's totally harmless, but they're like, these kids, we have to do it for the kids. I wrote a whole chapter in my book called Think of the Children, where how frequently the government uses our kids are going to die and they're going to be exposed to all this stuff and they're going to kill themselves and look what's going to happen, in order to justify really, really intrusive information grabbing or various assaults on our civil liberties. It is a repeated thing where once you bring kids into the conversation, you can't say, okay, I think that this might be a bit intrusive here, or this is a violation of our civil liberties. It's like, oh, well, so you don't care about kids? You don't care about our kids? Like, so I thought that might have been kind of a commentary on that, because it's like, oh, well, but the kids. And it's like, very few people out there, and both sides, I think, do this and have done this throughout the history of our country. Very few people out there just like don't give a shit if kids live or die, right? Like there's
it's a big unifier to like keep the kids alive.
Exactly. It's like the true psychopath that really is like, yeah, whatever. But the way that a lot of our political conversations happen, and fear is such a motivating tool for the government to gain more power. And people, I mean, now I get to be like, as a mother, which I didn't get to be like for the longest time.
Welcome.
I know. I get it. Like, I get it. I don't want anybody to hurt my little guy or, anything bad to happen to him. I didn't need to have a kid to, feel like I don't want bad things to happen to children. But I do understand like that mama bear protection. But the government totally manipulates people with that. And it's par for the course. It's what they've been doing. But once your emotions get involved, especially with the most important thing in your life, your child, you're sometimes not able to stop and think, okay, what are we giving the government the power to do here?
Absolutely. And also the notion that you have to buy like 100% of what someone is selling, which has always been the issue that I have, and like, I'm a partisan, right? Like, I cannot envision the Republican candidate that would be running that I would suddenly be like, yeah, no, I'm going to tick the box for him or her.
Yeah.
But especially with Trump, that has always been the issue, certainly vis-a-vis religious people, right? That you have this guy who's spent majority of his life living like a heathen, essentially, right? Like cheating on people. I don't really know about if he has been a party to abortions, but they're certainly intimating with the fact that he spends this episode trying to get Satan to have an abortion, and JD Vance is on the phone, right, trying to help him orchestrate this. The idea is the people who are in charge, the people who are telling you we are this type of person or you should behave this way, are not living up to their own code.
Yeah, and I'm as live and let live as they come. I don't give a shit what Trump, his philandering ways, whatever. That just transcends politics for me. Anyone. I mean, I'm like Team Lewinsky through. I would love to meet Monica Lewinsky so much.
I think she would meet you.
She's on. I don't know if she would, but she's really on my like top 5 lists of people that I would like to sit down and talk to.
She's pretty cool.
Like, I'm sure she is, right? And again, it's not everyone, but there is this segment of the population where I know they will judge me and they will say things to me like I'm disgusting or my skirt is way too short or like it's so gross that I've dated women or that, like I said the word fuck in my birthday post for my husband when I was thanking him for being there for me this year with my battle with literal cancer. Not like cancer as a figure of speech, but literal cancer. Like, can I use the fuck word? Like, which is a victimless word. And then you see yourself as like the compassionate one in that situation when you're criticized. It blows my mind. And then it blows my mind even more when it's like you also have never said a single negative thing about Trump because you do care. I'm live and let live. You're clearly not live and let live, but you clearly give this one person a pass. And it's not, there are also people I know who are Christians who are like, yeah, I'm a Christian. I don't like this stuff, but I voted for him because of X, Y, Z. Maybe they're pro-life and I don't know. But it is interesting, that segment of people that somehow they're judging everyone else so hard. But for him, they get a pass. He gets a pass. I don't get it.
I think that it's like you have to put blinders on. And I'm not saying this as like that it's impossible that I have, not had blinders. I don't think to that extent. But like, I don't like to hear things, negative things about Hillary Clinton, let's say, or something like that.
I know that's
not
your girl.
To this level.
That's your girl.
She is my girl, like literally my girl. Don't do it. Don't talk shit. But it's some of that, but then I think also because it's just like how tribal we've gotten that there's just no room to accept that, he may have gotten Satan pregnant and uses a tweezer to jerk off, which was like the worst.
Yeah, it was gross.
Visual for me.
It was really gross. But I think that honestly, it is so partisan. So, I mean, that was the theme of my second book because I do exist in this very interesting place where I work at Fox. I'm not conservative, but I'm also not liberal. So it's like, I also do get it from the liberal side too. I mean, like when I had my New York Times piece came out and all that, and I had some it was all about like Fox News viewers' reaction to me. The overwhelming majority of Fox News viewers were very supportive and very sweet and very kind and sending me gifts and telling me they were praying for me, which I appreciate when people say they're praying for me.
It's going to take a lot of prayer though.
When someone like asks me to pray for them, I will actually also do it, even though I'm like, full disclosure, I don't really know if mine count. But then there were some of the New York Times readers that were like, well, she works at Fox. So on either side, it's just so gross, I think, to reduce people to that, especially because, the majority of people out there are not these loud, extreme voices. Yeah. There's research that shows this. We overestimate how many people in each party, especially from one party estimating the opposite, hold these so-called extreme views. So I definitely think that's part of it, the hyper-partisanship. I've literally devoted so much of my life and my career to trying to just live out in the open and be completely honest and brutally vulnerable and be like, guys, like, no, like we can get along. And it can feel so hopeless sometimes. I'm like, damn, what am I doing? But it really is the only way out of this. It really is.
I hope that you're right, because I'm at least on like one side of the ship with you. Obviously, I am a partisan, but
Yeah.
who works in a place with not too many people who agree with me.
Right.
You proved my point that this episode, even though my producer said wasn't that political, it was absolutely political. I hope that you'll come back for another South Park download in a few weeks or whenever they decide to do another episode.
In my view, I don't think it was an attack on Christians. It was an attack on people
On faux
who
Christians.
use Christianity,
Yeah.
who fake it for their own kind of gain in some kind of way.
Totally. And I name names about it, but Mike Johnson, you know how I feel about you. Kat, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.